Hey family, Julia Rose here, and this is another message from Spirit for Love. I want to start with a divine masculine follow-up to the last reading that I did. Some of you guys were commenting that it was particularly triggering or just looking for more support as to how to really rebalance your inner masculine and feminine energies. And ultimately, I was meditating on this a lot last night, and a few different aspects of this imbalance were coming up. The first was the abandonment wounds. Abandonment wounds were coming up really strongly. The masculine feeling abandoned by the feminine, and the feminine in turn being abandoned by the masculine. Been called to pull some essential oil oracle cards. Okay. Can we have support messages? How can we clear this, please? I mean, this pretty much goes with what I was saying in the last video, that as your third eye begins to open more, okay, thank you. So as your third eye begins to open more and you become clearer in your vision as to what these imbalances are, and you start to see how illusion has been fogging the truth, you're going to become more aware of the truth that lies within your heart. So yeah, there's a lot here for this. There's a lot here. The masculines have felt emasculated, which has manifested as an abandonment wound, and also a hardening of the masculine principle. So kind of like the strength of their voice was diminished, or their loving truth kind of ignored, is what I feel. And that in turn caused power imbalances. When the masculine feels emasculated, then there's a greater need to control because of feeling so out of control and out of, out of not feeling like the authority in their own life, over like not having the ability to make decisions for their own best interest, feeling the need to do what's best for the family, feeling the need to do what's always been done, doing what you're told is best to do. And that's sort of, I'm getting like the word fission, but that dissonance between what really lies in the masculine truth, as opposed to what the masculine has been told should be their truth, that's created a power imbalance, and therefore a need to control. And that need to control lies in the solar plexus, and that's coming from a need to compensate for the emasculation that has occurred. So I just want to preface before I go any further, or I guess interject before I go any further, that I'm not an authority enough to say whether the feminine wounded the masculine first, or the masculine wounded the feminine first. But the internalized patriarchal structures are starting to, I'm hearing the word disintegrate, but ultimately there's a need for restructure. There's a need for rebalancing here, because the emasculated masculine feels the need to control, feels the need to take back their power however they can, and to exert the power over others. And that would mean inflating the sense of self and seeing the other, or the feminine in particular, as less than, not as knowing, in an effort to reclaim their voice and an effort to reclaim their power. So ultimately, yeah, this card, this is, I should put in the preface that this is going to be really like a triggering message, but the triggers have to occur so we can know what we need to heal. It's touching on a sore spot so we can unearth the truth there, integrate it, and move forward. So this card that's coming out here is the metabolic. This is the solar plexus card. It's a solar plexus card with the yellow you see here. At the top it says self-worth. The trigger statement is I am disgusting. The truth statement is I am a miracle. It says, please be gentle and love yourself. Please be gentle and love yourself. Provide your body-mind with what it truly needs to carry you on your journey. So the masculine has been pushed out of their heart space and into their solar plexus to take action, to dominate, to control. And this has come from a need to compensate for feeling less than, feeling unworthy, undeserving of blessings, of a beautiful life, of a gentle love, of nurturing. Yeah. The masculines I'm speaking to have lacked experience of, are in need of a nurturing feminine presence. And I think what some masculines might not realize is that they can offer that to themselves. So primarily, the divine masculines on the twin flame journey are healing and learning through the matrix. They're healing and learning through the 3D material life. The divine feminines are healing and learning mostly through the soul level and on the subtle energetic levels. And once the feminine has fully mastered their inner union at the soul level, that catalyzes the masculine to enter inner harmony between the masculine and feminine principles in the 3D life, which in turn brings them back into union, both counterparts back together. So what I'm seeing primarily for the divine masculines that this message resonates with is that the third eye clearings, the activations you're getting in your vision, the illusions that are being dispelled, you're starting to see how they've been taking your power away. And that's bringing up a lot of emotions, a lot of emotional volatility that needs to be processed. And that processing center is primarily in the solar plexus, in the gut. So you could find that maybe your appetites have changed, that certain foods that you used to eat, you no longer have a stomach for, or that you're being called to fast, or, even in more severe cases, there could be vomiting involved with these ascension symptoms and processing these emotions, because this is really deep. This is really, really deep. And the word that stands out to me so lovingly is this word, please be gentle. Please be gentle and love yourself, masculines. Please be gentle and love yourself. Because the tendency is to want to push harder on ourselves. I could be doing better. I know I'm messing up. And it's not the kind of behavior I want to be exhibiting. I need to do better. I'm not doing well enough. All these sorts of pressures. Notice how they push you down even further. In order to rebalance your solar plexus and process these emotions here, you're going to need to get deeper into your heart center to reclaim your true center of power, which is your heart. It's been pushed down lower, deeper into your solar plexus, sometimes in the sacral, sometimes in the root, depending on you and your circumstances, your karma, your past lives. But getting deeper in touch with your heart space, healing your heart, healing your relationship to love, healing your definition of love, is going to help you reclaim your sovereignty and your sense of self. A sense of self that empowers you, that uplifts you and helps you feel ready for life, ready to take action, ready to integrate and learn what you need to learn. Yeah, something told me that on the bottom of this deck I was going to see a heart chakra card, and it's exactly what came out. Calming. And what is the word? Acceptance. Trigger statement: I cannot trust anyone. True statement: everyone deserves my love. I open my heart to heal and release. I open myself to the peace of divine love and grace. That's just confirmation on what I've been saying. In order for you to heal your relationship to your self-worth, to heal your relationship to femininity, you need to open your heart and feel what's in your heart. And that means feeling and processing the grief. That means feeling and processing the heartbreak, the disappointment, the betrayal. And it hurts. I know it hurts. And it's easier to lose yourself to your work than to your feelings. The key to what you're being called to, the key to what transitions you're trying to make, the key to the key to the transitions you're trying to make lies within your heart. In feeling your feelings and owning what you feel. And not judging yourself for it. Just saying that, okay, this happened and this is how I feel about it. And really, really come to a place of accepting. But in order to accept and to grow, we must feel what we're feeling. Without judgment. Without denial. Denial is one of the biggest blocks I'm hearing, one of the biggest blocks for the masculine right now. Denial of emotional needs. Because when we're operating in the solar plexus, the center of willpower, which is just by the diaphragm, or we're operating in the sacral chakra, which is the house of relationships, the house of creativity. Or if we're operating at the root, we're operating at a need for safety. I just got really, really loud confirmation on that. Yeah, wow. Okay. So for you to heal your solar plexus, for you to heal your relationship to your self-worth, for you to heal your relationship to your inner femininity, and subsequently as a mirror, your divine feminine, you need to heal your heart. And that is one of the most powerful things you can do. Nurture yourself. Create a space, create some private space where you can just tune into your heart and feel what you're feeling. You can go into a slight meditation, just take some deep breaths, come back to your body. And bring your awareness, bring your consciousness into your heart space. And notice how that feels. Does it feel open? Does it feel closed? Does it feel heavy? Hard? Scared? Vulnerable? I'm hearing this word weak. And so much of predominantly Western culture has taught the masculines that to be and operate from your heart space makes the masculine weak. And that couldn't be further from the truth. That's how the systems, the larger players, have been able to get away with emasculating the masculines at a large scale. Because a masculine connected to their heart is a very, 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 very powerful being. A very, very powerful being. Rooted in their earthly existence and emotionally receptive to life, to love, to God, and therefore to their feminine counterpart. The divine masculine in the relationship predominantly is healing the relationship to the earth for the twins. The feminine is healing the relationship to spirit predominantly. Though both are doing this, both are doing both of this work, both of these works at some capacity. So I'm hearing also that for the masculines struggling to do this on their own, it's okay to seek support. That is another sign of strength. To ask for help when you need it. To be honest about what you're going through. Not from a place of I mean, I'm guessing, I'm getting, it's also from a fear of wanting to take, a fear of taking up space that way. Because of the false, from the misunderstanding of how the feminine is perceived. As overly emotional, as unstable, as manipulative. I'm here to say that your divine feminine masculines, dear masculines, your divine feminine is meant to trigger you more than anyone else. Save the healers. Accept the healers. The true healers. Because they stand between worlds. The feminine is meant to be your greatest mirror. So you might find that the behavior that you exhibit towards your feminine is behavior you literally only exhibit towards your feminine. Not to any other feminine in your life. But just your counterpart. And that's meant to trigger both of you to heal. Because the same goes for the feminine. The feminine is struggling with that same thing. This behavior, I only exhibit it towards the masculine. My masculine, not towards any other masculine, but only towards my masculine. Why is that? It's because you are perfect mirrors. And you're meant to heal these blocks between the both of you. So, to conclude, is there anything else for the masculines? Okay, so to conclude for the masculines, as you begin to awaken your vision and clear your mind to see things more accurately as they are, that's going to create a strong emotional reaction, whether that's rage. It could be rage for a lot of you. Don't bottle it in. Don't bottle it in. Rage shows us where our boundaries are and where they've been crossed. Rage can be fuel to take protective action when handled in a healthy way. And beneath that rage lies a hurt. That rage comes from the sacral and the solar plexus. Mostly the solar plexus. Because it's a very strong, it's a very powerful emotion. But beneath that rage lies a hurt, lies pain. And that's resting in the heart. Waiting to be processed. Waiting to be processed and uncovered and alchemized into realization, into love. So the task for you masculines is to really hold compassionate space for yourself. I'm drinking my tea again today. And I don't know if any of you guys drink the yogi teas. I don't always drink them, but sometimes I find their blends are nice. And they always have these cute little quotes on their tea things, tea bags. And this one says, be kind to others, but always be compassionate to yourself. And so, masculines, you're being called to be compassionate to yourself as you process things you've never seen before. As you realize pains and griefs you've unconsciously or subconsciously held on to, but haven't had the vision or the language to process. Be compassionate with yourself. And know that it's your feminine holding space for you. Or that your feminine is holding space for you. Your feminine, your divine feminine counterpart. I mean, for some of you in the external, in union, but mostly astrally, your feminine is holding space for you as you process. Which is mirroring your internal feminine. Okay, time for the feminines now. Okay, let's get some support for the divine feminines. I'm hearing, who's saying that? Okay, whoa. I'm hearing for the divine feminines to ease up on the masculines. That the masculines are in a very tender space, emotionally, probably experiencing and feeling things that they've never, or that feel new to them. And so the feminine is being called to be even more compassionate right now, and gentle and forgiving. Because if the feminine doesn't forgive the masculine is going to feel completely, I'm just hearing shattered, like not able to pick themselves up and continue to try. Oh, Krishna, thank you for making it make sense. I've been processing a lot. And I don't know, I usually am processing things before I bring the collective messages to the collective, because I'm like on the front end of processing the collective messages. So, the collective energies. So the feminines, The feminines are feeling confused because the masculines come in and out, come in and out, come in and out, and sometimes can seem so hot and cold, or can say one thing, behave a certain way, and then completely just 180 it in a different direction. And it's because of all this fear, all of these unprocessed emotions, all of these wounds of vulnerability that are being brought forth in the masculine. And the masculine is tasked right now with holding space for their own vulnerability, to create more space in their heart. Literally processing all of these emotions and being compassionate with themselves. The masculines are going to literally open their heart, make room for you, feminine. As long as you both are keeping God centered, God at the front, you will be guided every step of the way. And as the wow. Okay. So I had mentioned rage before, right? So the masculine is processing the rage that they've felt being emasculated. And mirroring that on the other side, the divine feminines are feeling the rage. They're beginning to process the rage that has come up as a result of their perception that they've been used. That the masculine doesn't want the feminine's heart, just their body. And as a result, that's created pain and grief that it's been sending the signal to the feminine that they're not lovable, that who they are at their core is not desirable to their masculine. I'm gonna cry. Wow. And so as the masculine begins to hold a more compassionate space for themselves to heal and process these emotions, the feminine is starting to realize that it's not that the masculine was trying to treat me poorly. It's that the masculine quite literally did not know how to do better, because that behavior was never modeled. That behavior was shunned, oppressed, frowned upon. So the feminines are learning how to love themselves even more. So we got this card, compassion. Trigger statement, I am unlovable. It's this inconsistency in the 3D that has been very destabilizing for the feminine, the masculine that comes in and out and in and out. And that's part of the process. It's meant to trigger all of these things within the feminine and within the masculine also, to see, oh, we're not ready. We have more to heal. We have more to heal to get to union, to get to marriage, which is going to happen. If it's in your contract, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. And also a matter of remembering that marriage is not the final destination. Because once the flames come together, it's what your mission becomes together after that. What is your joint mission? Because the work doesn't end. The work never ends. There's just some of the healing that we have to do before we get to marriage, before we get to union. And then there's all of the work that the partners do together after that. So as as the masculines are healing their grief and their pain and coming to a state of acceptance and learning to trust their heart, learning to find a safe place in their open heart by feeling and processing these emotions, the feminine is returning to their self-love, is returning to the truth that they are love. True statement, I am love. Rose. Your heart is healing and expanding with love. Spend time showering yourself with that love and then share it with others. And again, it's this self-love that this unconditional self-love on the divine feminine's part that stabilizes the feminine's 3D life enough to stabilize the masculine in such a way that the masculine can heal their relationship to their inner femininity, subsequently to their divine feminine, which will balance and heal their masculine energies to then propel them into marriage. You see? And so as the feminine is feeling the isolation here, starting to question this path, is it worth it? Is it worth it? The more they surrender that, the surrender the when, surrender the how, the less they question the point of all the back and forth, of all the healing, all the purging, all of the soul work they've been doing up to this point. They realize that everything is always panning out as it's meant to. And as they reconnect, the feminine reconnects to their heart space in a more stable way, in a more committed way to their self-love and their love for the divine. That's what attracts abundance. That's what attracts everything that they've been looking for, the feminine's been looking for. We have good fortune. Trigger statement, what's the point? True statement, I attract abundance. Feel the joy you would have once you have reached your goals here and now. You will achieve your dreams fastest that way. Hi, honey. My dog's sitting on my bed right now. And it's funny enough too, because this is the sacral chakra card. Attracting abundance, good fortune. The creative center that births union. The creative center that literally brings to life all of the feminine's desires. Healing the heart space. Ultimately, healing the heart space reconnects with the feminine to the truth of their abilities as a creator. Their ability to maintain their own joy. And to know that their masculine, I mean, at an unconscious level, the masculine has been teaching the feminine to prioritize their joy. Prioritize creating a life that they love. And loving themselves first. Because that inward-facing love on the feminine's part is what magnetizes a life towards them that mirrors that. And that is what brings the masculine back to the feminine in a healed enough state for the counterparts to enter union. So the feminine is going to be feeling these purging symptoms in the heart space as well as the sacral chakra, their womb space. All people have a womb, a creative center. I use these words interchangeably because it's literally where the individual is able to birth their manifestations, birth their desires. And so how fitting is it then also that as the masculine begins to process and really come into a place of worthiness within themselves, feeling deserving of the unconditional love of their feminine, that gets mirrored back to the feminine as the feminine is healing the heart, healing the womb. That it enables the feminine to enter a deeper state of surrender. On the bottom of the deck here, we have flow. Question is this, the trigger statement is a question. Why are things such a struggle? And the true statement is, I am in the flow. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. Because that is the expression, that is the energy of the divine feminine that enables the masculine to be the masculine energy in the dynamic. Not the overdoing, not the struggling, but the surrender, the flow, the ease, the beingness. Because that creates space. That is quite literally letting go and letting God. Because God always does what God sets out to do. Always. As the feminine releases the attachment to a certain time, a certain place, a certain way. Notice I was reaching, because when we grip so tightly to things, it actually destabilizes our power. Because our bodies are meant to be free-flowing channels for divine healing energy. Love. Love. The more we hold on to things outside of us, the tougher it is for us to receive. And also the harder it is to hear God. As the counterparts, this is the final message, as the counterparts begin to get in deeper touch with their true needs, and love themselves unconditionally in having those needs, things will begin to prosper and flow harmoniously from that. Let go and let God. If you need someone to hold space for you while you are moving through all of these energies, ask God. Ask the divine. There's no greater safety, no greater shelter. All right. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.